With picturesque views of Mount Rainier, Yelm, known as the Pride of the Prairie, is the largest city in South Thurston County. Here to talk about their COVID-19 response is the mayor of Yelm, JW Foster. Hi JW, thanks for joining us today. So what's different in your daily routine? How are you working? Are you going to City Hall? Are you just working from home? How are meetings working?
Well, good morning. Thanks for having me on. There's some things that have been changed in my routine. First off, I'm always ready to put a face covering on at a moment's notice. And it's become a fashion statement as well with everybody so that we're staying safe out here. I consider my City Hall office my home away from home. And it has better internet. So I live 2 minutes from the office, so I can walk down here and hook up to do my Zoom meetings, which is the thing that's changed the most. It's actually saved me a lot of time. We're way out here on the prairie, and yet we're involved in a lot of things regionally. So 2 or 3 times a week, I would be driving into Olympia or Lacey or maybe JBLM. And now I'm doing all of those virtually, which I'm finding actually pretty cool to do it. We may find this a new normal going forward.
Are you doing like your Yelm City Council meetings over Zoom, as most of the jurisdictions are?
Yes, we have done that, and again, successfully. The first couple were a little clunky, as they say, when we particularly want to make sure that our public has an opportunity to address the council. And we've found ways that they can do that, either through written comments or by, we can allow them the mic during the public comment period of the city council meeting. None have taken advantage of that opportunity yet, but we know the system works. We've had, like, our Rotary Club of Yelm and the school district does a Student of the Month presentation, and we were able to have that student interact with council live during our virtual meeting. So it seems like everybody's getting used to it and working out quite well.
Well, tell me about the City of Yelm services, your essential services, water, sewage, the things that you provide. How are they different now? Is anything unavailable to Yelm citizens, and the things that are, how are they different?
That's a great question, and the good news is the citizens of Yelm should have really experienced no difference in their basic essential services. Certainly our law enforcement officers have been out on the street patrolling. They're working under some new protocols to limit interaction person to person, but they can do that safely when they need to. Our wastewater treatment facility, you can't let that go down. So those were essential workers, and we took precautions for them personally. But we experienced, in fact, some of our better operating days during those restrictions, and we're not really sure what's causing that. But it's a good thing. We want that to happen. So that's really it. The Public Works Department, although we had initially restricted their movements in town, we found it safe to put them back out to do really essential things like repairing potholes, doing mowing and trimming to make sure that the streets and sidewalks are walkable, navigable. And so, yeah, really, the only thing that we really changed, although I never did close our parks, I did put signage up that said, look, play on this play equipment at your own risk. We cannot guarantee its sanitation. We did close our public restrooms, and we put up porta potties that the company that provided those for us did all of the sanitation on it at least twice a week. And we found people were very respectful of that. And although they were in the parks and on our Yelm Tadino Trail, they were obeying social distancing and doing face coverings and things like that. So it's been working rather well out here.
Yeah, I think closing them and then reopening them could have, led to, a bunch of people showing up. So maybe that was good. So what about, like, using these services when people, they used to be able to go to a counter maybe at City Hall to take care of stuff. Are those things being done virtually, or do you just have people calling instead, going to a website?
Yeah,
What's different?
fortunately, we had established a lot of those practices beforehand for the convenience of our customers. So being able to pay your water, sewer, stormwater bill online has always been an option for folks. And that wasn't much of a change. More people have signed up for it, of course. You can still come to City Hall location and use our drop box. We do have a person on duty at City Hall, but people aren't allowed in, but they can use the phone and have that direct communication with our staff person to make sure their question gets answered. Everything else has been done virtually, and we've had great success with it.
Okay, awesome. So, do you have any advice for businesses and people who have lost their income during the shelter-in-place order?
And that is the thing that literally keeps me awake at night. And I usually don't have that problem. It's just been so frustrating for us to see our local economy damaged so severely. The individual business owners who have been struggling to find either a different way to provide their business or their services, or they've just had to flat shut down and apply for assistance through the CARES Act, most of whom have told me that they've been successful at. But still, we have a great deal of financial hardship in the community, and I worry about that. So, to that, we have done a few things. One of the things that we're very proud of, my wife Nikki and I created a new foundation in Yelm right at the beginning of this called the Yelm Community Relief Fund. And we worked with an existing 501c3 through America's Credit Union Foundation and an organization called Together, which has already been providing eviction prevention programs here in Yelm, to ask people to donate money that they feel they could afford to donate to this fund, which we could then put in the hands of our local citizens immediately to help them pay their local bills. It's been very successful. Nikki and I put our expected relief money in it, which ironically we have not yet received, but that's okay.
Yeah, I
We
haven't
have
gotten
faith.
mine either, so it'll come.
We front loaded that, and then quite a few other Yelm residents also donated to the fund. We've had close to $15,000 in donations, and we've given out around 10,000 of that to local citizens to help them pay their local bills, so we keep that circular economy going. That's been helpful. And then we do have CARES Act 2 money available, perhaps as much as $274,000. We're waiting for a letter of contract from the Department of Commerce, who will be managing those funds for us, to see exactly how we could get that money most easily into the hands of local business owners, food providers, and individual residents who still need help.
Do you anticipate any problems with your city budget, as this unfolds?
Well, we don't know what we don't know yet, Robert.
Mm-hmm.
This has been an interesting exercise. My city administrator, our finance director, and I have spent a considerable time batting this around because we actually saw a considerable spike in our retail sales tax and business and occupation tax through the first quarter of 2020, and in part due to the panic buying that people were doing early on. And we do expect to see another increase. I wouldn't call it a spike, but I'll call it relief spending in two ways, in that people will be relieved to actually have money that they could spend, and then they'll be buying those things that they couldn't buy during the shutdown. So between those two things, we think that the retail economy should rebound fairly quickly, but we do expect to see as much as a 15% reduction in that revenue stream. And we're taking measures to mitigate for that in the 2020 budget cycle, 2020-21 budget cycle.
Okay. So how about Yelm events? You probably had to cancel some. Is there anything that's still on the schedule? Or have any of them been adjusted to where they're virtual or anything like that? Tell me about your events in the city of Yelm.
That is such a sad question to ask me because we love our events out here in Yelm. We have Prairie Days at the end of June, and we had to cancel that because it's just too soon to put thousands of people together in Yelm City Park and to have a parade. We had our Jazz in the Park event in early August, and we've had to cancel that because we just don't know what the virus is going to do. And we certainly don't want Yelm to be ground zero for the next resurgence in cases of this virus until we get a handle on it. So yeah, basically all of the normal public events that we would have had through the summer have been canceled, and no plans have been made to reschedule them at this point. The happy exception is that the health department and the state's orders have allowed us to open up the farmers market. So that's actually opening this Saturday, the 23rd. It's under greatly reduced numbers of vendors because the health department is only allowing fresh produce vendors to be there, and it's early in the season. But we think we have 12 vendors set up, and that's going to open up again this Saturday at the Yelm Community Center, and we're looking forward to people coming out to support that. Everybody will be wearing masks. There'll be 6-foot distancing. There'll be hand sanitizers and hand washing stations. It should be a very safe opportunity for people to get out and get some fresh produce and maybe enjoy a little fresh air in the park.
Okay, well, we're going to let you get back to all your other Zoom meetings that you probably have to do today. But is there anything else you'd like to add before we do?
I would just like to say, as my sister, who is a teacher back in Connecticut, she's been doing it for 30 years now. Like her, we didn't sign up for this particular challenge. My sister's sad that she's not able to be with her students, especially during graduation. And when you sign on to be mayor, you don't realize that things like this are going to be part of your challenges coming forward. But I'm so proud of our staff who have helped us get through this with nary a stumble. And I'm so proud of our community who have, for the most part, been very respectful and understanding and patient and understanding that we need to get through this together, which we will. And then we'll all face the next challenge together stronger than ever before, because that's what we do out here on the prairie.
All right, well said. Thank you for taking the time today.
You're very welcome. Good to see you.
For more information on Yelm City services, please visit yelmwa.gov, where you can also find information about the Yelm Relief Fund. That's all we have for you today. Tune in next time for more updates. Again, if you have any questions or suggestions for something we should cover, send an email to rkam@tcmedia.org. Stay home, stay updated with Thurston Community Media, and stay safe, Thurston County.